Hello and welcome to Tri Liverpool, as 1,500 athletes of all ages and abilities prepare to swim, bike and run their way through this iconic city, racing past the Albert Docks and the world-famous Liver buildings to where they'll collect their hard-earned medals outside the Echo Arena.
Liverpool, of course, is a place to come for the Beatles experience, and in recent years it's become a key destination for the triathlon experience too, hosting a round of the British Triathlon Super Series for the elites, the British Championships for the age groupers, as well as a warm welcome for first-timers too, with a rare opportunity to race through the heart of this vibrant city.
While the masses, the debutantes and the celebs will all enjoy the shelter of an indoor transition in the Echo Arena, just outside the blue carpet is down for the elite transition. The organisers have set up a first-class course, and as ever, there's a red-hot field of professional triathletes. Let's join Patrick Winterton.
Well, here we go for another fantastic day of triathlon in the city of Liverpool. The elite field is superb. Sexton back to defend his title. Will he be able to do it again here in Liverpool? He has as much experience as just about the whole field put together, so we'll see how the Australian gets on. Plenty of age groupers here as well. It is, of course, the age group national championship, so much at stake. So many British places, British vests to be won. And perhaps more importantly, there are so many first-timers here, and plenty of women as well. This girl can. Well, we'll see how they get on. Certainly more women than I can remember in any triathlon that we've covered so far. And the celebrities are here as well. Nicole Barber-Lane from Hollyoaks, and of course Carl Collins, also from Hollyoaks, but you may remember him from The Bill or Casualty. And what about Craig Phillips? He's back for more. We'll see how he gets on this year. He's certainly got himself a nice bike, but no mistake, the titanium and the tri-bars are not essential.
I took the baskets off though for speed.
It's great to see and makes the sport so much more inclusive. So the race taking place in Liverpool, the race starting in Liverpool Docks, and of course the event put on by British Triathlon and Liverpool Council, and one which so many athletes have been looking forward to, particularly after the blowout last year. Now, Mersey Tri, not the oldest club in the world, but certainly the smartest today, as they're celebrating their 30th birthday with a new vest, and hopefully they'll get some great results today. There's certainly a great turnout in the elite fields and some really talented athletes there. Brendan Sexton, the favourite in the men's, but he's got some youngsters to race against. Sophie Coldwell, she'll certainly show in the women's at some stage as a brilliant swimmer. Learmonth, also one of the favourites. But Emma Pallant is the best runner in the women's field. Will she be able to make up the ground that she loses in the first stage? We will see. Well, the age groupers going off at 5-minute intervals, and so the docks are going to be very, very busy when the race gets underway.
Good competition here in the British champs compared to the local races, so we'll see how we get on.
I was in Geneva the other week with lots of hills, so it'd be nice to do a flat time trial bike. Yeah, definitely.
Gonna smash it.
What time are you going to do?
2:15 max, hopefully.
And that, of course, is for the Olympic distance, where the national titles are on offer. But there are other races as well, the sprint relay, and the beginners triathlon, which should be a fantastic event. So many first-timers involved in that one. 1,500-metre swim for the Olympic distance age groupers. And here's Louise Minchin, who's been racing well recently and has qualified for the age group World Championships in Chicago. Swimming certainly one of her stronger disciplines, so we'll see how she gets on in the sprint event today.
I'm now competing against these women in my age group, and they are the most incredible athletes. They really are. It's been inspirational. I mean, I'm part of their team now. I probably came in at the bottom end of the team, but I'm part of that team. But you know, I just watch them, and they are super powerful, super fit, and it's just inspiring for me to be competing alongside them as well.
And there really is some superb talent out there in the age groupers. Alice Jenkins expected to do well. She's a good swimmer, great on the bike. And in the men's, Alex Lawton, a very, very good start from him in the 25-29-year-old category. William Costello, on the other hand, is about to start his first ever triathlon.
I spent, I'd say, probably about 2 years umming and ahhing about doing it, and in the end you just have to kind of bite the bullet and get on and have a go at doing it. I was really worried about doing the swim. I'm sure other people will have other parts of it that they'd be worried about, but to be fair, there's plenty of help out there. Just like bite the bullet, get in there and have a go. It's good fun. You'll enjoy it once you start.
Great attitude from William Costello, and Go Tri from Triathlon England are keen that more and more people get involved in this sport, and they're doing everything possible to facilitate first-timers.
Go Tri is a new initiative that we started in 2013, where we get people to come into the sport for the first time, and we take away all the barriers, you know, the big finish gantry and the medals, the t-shirts, and we just let people have a go.
And many will get the bug. Alice Jenkins has certainly got it, and she is flying from Edinburgh University Triathlon Club. Louise Minchin, well, she admits that running's not her strong point. She will get better the more experience she gets. So many people just racing friends or the clock or their own previous performances. And plenty of effort being put in every age group.
It was hard. Wind really got up on the second half of the bike, I think, but just hang on for grim death.
And coming down the home straight, Louise Minchin, a time of 1:26.29. That's respectable, and she's a step closer to Chicago. This race being used as a training run for Louise, who's certainly got the triathlon bug this year. And the fastest age grouper on the day, Alex Lawton, who was second overall in 2013, goes one better this time round.
Yeah, running's my strongest point, but you never quite know how it's going to turn up in a day. Pleased with how it went.
And the fastest women's age grouper is Alice Jenkins.
Yeah, it was really competitive on the swim, and then trying to cut through the boys, and then just giving everything you've got, really.
Good atmosphere out on the course.
Awesome. I think the largest person out there is my mum, but yeah, it's been really good fun, actually.
Well, some wonderful performances by the age groupers, and those not going to the World Championships in Chicago. This is their big race of the year, so no wonder there are smiles all round. Well, we're going to see some spectacular action after the break. The women's elite is next, and we've got a whole host of big names: Pallant, Caldwell, Manners, Kitchen, Milne, all racing here in Liverpool.
Last year's elite women's race here at Tri Liverpool was won by an athlete who went on to win the World Championships too. But it was no cakewalk for the American Gwen Jorgensen, as British athletes, in particular Jess Learmonth and Sophie Caldwell, pushed her all the way and made Jorgensen work hard for her victory on a blustery run course. This year the conditions are much better, but we're expecting the competition to be just as furious.
Well, Learmonth and Caldwell were well aware of the talents of Jorgensen of the USA. She is, of course, the world #1. This year, Caldwell and Learmonth likely to team up again to try and destroy the running talent of Emma Pallant. Well, let's hope we have a similar race this year. Very, very exciting indeed. In the Super Series so far, India Lee leads the way after a spectacular win in Blenheim. Sophie Caldwell well positioned in second place. 100 points on offer for the winner today, so India Lee being absent, we're likely to see a new leader. Will it be Emma Pallant? Can she win today? She can certainly run fast enough, but she has to do something spectacular on the first two legs. Sophie Caldwell will try and do the damage in the swim, extend it in the bike, and then hang on in the run. And that will be a similar tactic for Jess Learmonth. Caldwell, I think, knows that Emma Pallant is perhaps the greatest threat.
She's obviously a world-class runner, so if we can get a breakaway like last year, hopefully we can put her under some pressure.
And will the race be decided on the run alone, do you think?
Not at all. I mean, like last year, we came off the bike with an 80-second lead, so if we can do that again, then it's definitely not decided on the run.
Pallant, of course, a former track and field athlete, junior bronze medalist at World Championship level over 1,500 metres. The run's no problem. She'll need help on the bike if she's going to lead coming into T2.
I think Jess Learmonth and Sophie Caldwell, they gave Gwen a really hard time here last year. Gwen Jorgensen well #1, and because if they break away off the front, which you'll probably see in the swim and the bike, they get a good pack going off the front. It's going to be very hard to chase down, so I definitely am going to have my work cut out.
So the elite women, 49 of them, lined up, ready to go. The start, absolutely crucial. You want to get on the toes of someone who swims just that little bit faster. Take advantage of the slipstream, and a blistering start there from Jess Learmonth, who's flying out of the blocks and looking for a good lead. Caldwell will be up there as well. The question is, how far behind will the likes of Emma Pallant be come the end of this 750-metre swim? Just a reminder, this is a sprint distance triathlon. So 750 swim, 20 kilometres on the bike, 5 kilometres to finish it off on the roads of Liverpool. Well, Learmonth is the one who has taken it out, and closing down on her now, Sophie Caldwell in second place. Pushing the pace, that's the race plan.
Hard swim, hard bike, and then hang on in the run. So hopefully there'll be a few others maybe that'll join. So Sophie's doing it the same as last year, so hopefully we can, get away and get a bit of a gap, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see, and Learmonth, Caldwell, both pretty handy on the bike. They might need someone else in there just to share the workload over the 20 kilometres. But there is no doubt that Jess Learmonth is pushing the pace, and it's a really impressive swim so far. Emma Pallant will be trying to limit the damage to about 30 seconds over the 750 metres.
These girls are super strong swimmers. I'm no way near that level yet, and I'm always giving kind of a tough ride on the swim, and then they work together on the bike, so it's always a chasing game. I know that I won't come off in the lead off the bike, but it's just running as hard as I can, and I think it makes for an exciting race.
Well, it certainly does, and Pallant knows where her weaknesses are. I think in years to come we're going to see something spectacular from her. But first out of the water it is Jess Learmonth with a very clean exit. Sophie Caldwell just a couple of seconds behind, and they start the long run up into the transition area. Absolutely crucial now that Learmonth and Caldwell capitalise on the lead that they've built. It's around 8 seconds over the second group. A clean transition. Easier said than done in the heat of the moment. All the equipment has to go in the box. Penalties can prove disastrous at this stage of the race. And Learmonth picks a bike up from number 29, and she's on the way. Out she goes. Kimberly Bell not doing too badly, number 13 today. Hopefully that won't prove unlucky for her. And Learmonth with a lead of some 7-8 metres over Sophie Caldwell. This is just how they planned it. They can work together and try and build as much of a lead over Emma Pallant before the running starts. Pallant, number 1. Not had the best of seasons so far. Oh, and this is a scrappy transition. It may only be a couple of seconds, but those few seconds can prove crucial. Well, she's got a couple of athletes just in front of her. Will she get any assistance on the bike today? Learmonth and Caldwell will switch the lead. I think we're going to see regular changes from them. They both know they rely on each other. It's wet, it's slippery, and the cobbles are particularly treacherous, but they negotiate the first lot very, very carefully. Now they can start to put the pedal down, and it's a technical course here in Liverpool, as is so often the case in city triathlons. Lots of dead turns, 180-degree turns, where the skill is a major part of the race. Learmonth leading at the moment, Caldwell just tucking in the slipstream. And now they'll get an opportunity to size up the situation. They'll see where the chasing group are, and no doubt they'll have a careful look to see who is in that chasing group. Hobbs, Pallant, Nemo, Hood are all there, but will they work together? Well, Pallant has decided that the pace is not quick enough. She starts to push. A little bit accident prone, Emma Pallant, over the years. She's had a few injuries that have set her back, but safe so far on today's race. Well, it's only a peloton of two, but they are working well together, and they'll be delighted that Pallant is on her own.
Come on, you're riding so well. Come on, keep it going in. Keep it going.
It's that fine line between being smart, so you don't come off, but kind of pushing the boundary so you don't, because if you're on your own biking and trying to catch those girls up in front, the time can really blow out. If it blows out to 3 or so minutes, there's no chance you can run it in. So it's kind of keeping your nerve, but making smart calls within the race.
Well, I can tell you that as the two leaders come into T2, they had a lead of 40 seconds at the start of the bike ride. They have certainly extended that. A little mistake there from Learmonth, who goes past her station, and that could cost her a few valuable seconds. Caldwell may well capitalise. She's going to find herself with a slim lead coming out of T2. It's all going to plan for her so far. Pallant, though, has not had a good ride and is now 1:55 off the pace, having started the bike ride, remember, 40 seconds behind, so it's not been brilliant, and that is all due to the fact that she's been on her own for the majority of the ride. Caldwell is in the perfect position. She leads Learmonth by 50 metres at the moment, and Caldwell last year we saw was the stronger runner of the two. Will it be the same in 2015? You might just have seen Emma Pallant coming into the transition area, and so Pallant has a huge amount of work to do. She said she couldn't catch 3 minutes. Can she catch 2 minutes? We will find out. Caldwell really needs to get into her running as quick as possible. That's not easy. So many regard the transition from the bike to the run as the hardest part of triathlon. Here's Pallant. She wasn't particularly quick through T1 and struggling a little bit with the running shoes coming into T2, a little more talc needed, or maybe it's the fact that the talc has got so wet in the rain, but that has cost her another few valuable seconds. Jenny Manners, a little bit too far off the pace to think in terms of winning this one, but possibly podium if Learmonth has a blowout on the run. Well, there's going to be plenty of competition for the minor placings, but really our attention is on who is going to win this one. The chaser, Emma Pallant, looking fluent. It's such a beautiful running style that she has. Already flowing, streaming down the road in pursuit of Sophie Caldwell and Jessica Learmonth. 4 seconds behind for Learmonth, and she is gaining very, very steadily on Sophie Caldwell at the moment. She's closed the gap by some 10-15 metres. Is Caldwell saving something? Well, the camera bike and Emma Pallant flowing down towards the dead turn, so Caldwell knows exactly how much of a lead she's got, and I think that will give her some confidence. She looks over her shoulder just to check on the progress of Learmonth, and now Caldwell ups the pace. Pallant still flying, but too much to do, surely. 1:55, exactly the margin coming out of T2. Learmonth, has she got a stitch? I think she might have, and that will mean that a victory is pretty much out of the question unless she can shake it off very, very rapidly. But here comes Emma Pallant, who has got one of those places back. She moves up into the runners-up spot, but it's number one that Pallant wants. Had to retire from the race in Blenheim, suffering from a virus there, so she's done well to recover from that. But still, she's not got the form to catch Sophie Caldwell, who is heading to victory here in Liverpool. It's going to be a famous win for her, and she will move to the top of the Super Series table with 100 points that she picks up today. still looking very, very comfortable. A little smile on her face. She knows she's got this one in the bag, and she's paced it to perfection. Took the early stages fairly easy. Learmonth, I think, must have thought she had a chance, but Caldwell too strong on the day. She makes it a Super Series win in Liverpool with a tremendous performance. That will certainly be encouraging for her hopes of going to Rio next year. Emma Pallant, 1 minute 15 quicker than anyone else on the run, but it's not enough today. She knows what she's got to work on if she wants to beat Sophie Caldwell.
I'm really happy. I've not won a domestic race as a senior before, so yeah, to get in the breakaway and then win it's really special. It's great to have these many crowds out for a domestic race, so it really was a good race.
My running is always my strength. I've been really working still on the swim, but yeah, just happy with that.
And happy with the atmosphere?
Yeah, awesome. It's always an awesome race, like so much support out there. Yeah, I loved it.
So let's have a look at the results. Caldwell the win in 1:02.18. Emma Pallant only 28 seconds behind, having lost a lot of time on the bike. And Learmonth in third.
There's a way. I'm hoping for a bit more time really, but yeah, it was still quite hard on the run. I just couldn't hold on, but fair play to Emma and Sophie, they did really well. So I've been beat fair and square, so yeah, I'm happy with third, but just a bit disappointed about the run.
And let's have a look at the Super Series standings. Sophie Caldwell, second in Blenheim, first here in Liverpool, goes to the top with 190 points, 30 clear of Jenny Manners and Natalie Milne in third. And of course Emma Pallant with second today moves up into 9th place. Fantastic performances by the pros, but Tri Liverpool is so much about inclusion of both sexes. And after the break, we'll catch up with a number of participants who prove that girls can.
Welcome back to Tri Liverpool, where this course sees some of the most elite competition in the UK. 20% of entrants this year, however, are first-timers. You don't need a £3,000 racing machine. In fact, a mountain bike and a can-do attitude can see you over the line.
We're certainly about to see some inspiring performances here. Jenny Taylor has signed up for the sprint distance today, and I dare say this is a big, big moment for her.
Bit nervous at the moment, but hopefully the nerves will get me through it as well.
Why are you nervous? Because you've done it before, you know what to expect.
No idea, I think it's just adrenaline and a bit of excitement as well.
Hands up if it is your first triathlon. Yes. Look at that. Hey, round of applause to all of you. Come on, give yourselves a clap.
Well, the Go Tri programme will be delighted to see so many first-timers and all these athletes lined up for the beginners triathlon.
Rachel, happy birthday to you.
Everyone can do it. I mean, you don't have to be the best. You don't have to, be, competitive about it. It's just about getting yourself involved and being a part of it all.
It certainly is, and this shorter event designed as a taster to try and encourage people to get into the sport and to try and get people involved in sport.
I only entered the beginners because I wasn't a very strong swimmer, to the point that I did one length of front crawl and was gasping for my breath back in January, and I completed 800 metres the other day, so could have actually done the sprint. My job is in sport and recreation, and when we do a big push on trying to get more girls and women involved, and the This Girl Camp campaign has been absolutely massive in trying to break down them barriers, and there's women of different ages, sizes, backgrounds, abilities, and it's been really inspirational for me especially.
And from what we can see today, they are doing a fantastic job. So good to see so many women racing today.
How's your first time doing triathlon?
It's brilliant. The weather could be better, but brilliant.
I'm confident, yeah, swim was the most worrying part.
Well, we've already seen Louise Minchin in action in the age groupers. Now it's the turn of a few familiar faces. Nicole Barber-Lane, Craig Phillips is there, 43-year-old, and Carl Collins, another Hollyoaks actor, looking maybe a little nervous.
How many triathlons have you done? You look like you've got all the gear.
Got all the gear. Yeah, it's all in the right place. I've done like 3 super sprints and I've done a sprint. And I'll be riding in my flip-flops as well. I'm bringing it. I'm ready.
Yeah, you are ready to go.
Craig Phillips in action last year.
I did my very first one last year and I probably did it in about an hour and 40, so today I'm looking at, if I can beat an hour 30, I'll be happy with that.
We'll keep an eye on that. The swim, of course, the most feared part for many of these first-timers, but once they completed their effort in the docks, it's into the Echo Arena for T1 and preparation for the bike ride.
So you're just on the swim, how are you feeling?
I'm shattered. I'm tired, but that was my hardest part, so I'm looking forward to the other events now. It is exciting and everyone's really, really friendly and everyone wants to just get involved with each other. It is a really nice atmosphere.
Well, Rachel obviously having a good experience on her birthday. We wish her well on the bike ride. Some of the transitions not quite as quick as they might be. Let's see how Carl Collins gets on. The swim completed. Seems to be going well at the moment. Craig Phillips, a few last-minute alterations.
Oh, yeah, come on, Craig. It's a bit of a slow changeover, isn't it?
This is a sprint triathlon. It's the slowest transition I've ever seen.
The slowest transition you've ever seen. Yeah.
That target time of 1:30 might be hard to match at that pace. Carl Collins heading out for the second phase. He's got plenty of fluid on board.
Cheers!
All shapes and sizes of people and every sort of bike you can imagine. The weather once again has not been particularly kind, but to be honest, the athletes will not be concerned. It's all about the company out on the roads, and there's plenty of it.
I was going to wear my sunglasses. Doesn't help in this weather.
Well, Craig's invested in a good bike, no doubt for a good time. Nicole Barber-Lane, well, she's made some adjustments, but the aerodynamics might suggest that time is not an issue.
I've got a bell and everything, watch. Woohoo! I took the baskets off though for speed.
So you're going to win?
I'm going to finish. I'm just doing it to raise awareness of women to join doing the triathlon, and also that they can do it as part of a relay. Got a little sit-up and beg bike, so we'll see how it goes. Power to the ladies with a push bike.
More women than ever before involved in this race in Tri Liverpool, and overcoming that fear of judgment that keeps so many of them out of sport. Triathlon must be delighted.
We're using this weekend for insight to actually find out and speak to the ladies that are doing it for the first time to say, what is it that will help you take the next step in your triathlon journey? We're finding out if they want more open water training days, if it's the road bike that they're scared about, if it's just that they want more information about what events they can do. And we're also looking at what format they want that information in. So do they want how-to videos? Do they actually want to go to training days? Do they want to join clubs? And so once we've got that insight, we're going to build it into our future plans. And really it's just the beginning, hopefully, for women's participation for Triathlon England.
They're certainly doing a job that they should be proud of today, and above it all, everyone enjoying it.
I think it's brilliant. I think that women in sport, there's such a small number of women who take part in sport. I work in an office full of probably 90% women, and generally most of them don't take part in sport. I think it's really important just to show them what I do, and some of them have actually been inspired by it. Some of them have gone and taken up more running, they've done a bit of swimming, they've got out on their bikes, or they've done other sports. So I think it's nice to be able to inspire people and get people involved.
And there really have been some impressive and inspiring performances so far. Jenny, who's come back for more triathlon, inspired by what she's seen in the past, and being local, she knows exactly what to expect.
I'm Scouse, we go out without a coat on, we're alright.
Some way to go, but fantastic effort so far. Into T2, and one stage remaining. Carl Collins, I think, getting a little bit nippy out there on the bike.
That bit. That was great.
Not too wet out there, road not too slippy.
Road's very slippy, obviously very wet as well. But good, I enjoyed the bike, that's my favourite part. Now I've got to do the running, so.
Carl and Craig now well on their way. Both those two athletes going the whole way today, whereas there are some involved in the relay.
How was that?
That was a little bit more challenging than I thought, but I was encouraged that I was going as fast as the other people, but their bikes were better than mine. That's what I'm saying.
Nicole has now handed over to Helen Moore, so her day's work is done. Helen involved in the 5K run.
Very wet. I wanted the rain.
That's a gale effect.
I've still got my goggles from the swim.
The wind and rain has only wiped the smile off a few faces, but a huge sense of achievement all round. Great effort from Carl, finishes in an impressive time.
What would you say to others who wanted to take part for the first time?
Oh, it's fantastic, honestly. It's good for all your different cardiovascular, it's fantastic. And you know what, it's such a supportive atmosphere. And you know, there are loads and loads of tri schools around the country, so it's easy to join as well, you know. For me, it was about getting my swimming technique, and so that's what I concentrated on, you know, but fantastic. Hopefully I'll be back next year.
Well, we saw Craig last year, we've seen him this year. I wonder whether he'll be back for more.
Well, they say skin's waterproof.
Just about waterproof. I mean, it's been wet all day. You start off obviously in the docks, freezing, head freeze, but then once you get out, you're on your bike, that's when the fun starts. You get a little bit warmed up, but it rains on you more and more. And then finishing off, then it was the wind I found hard. It's not the rain, the wind.
Are you hooked now on triathlon?
Absolutely. This is my second sprinter triathlon. The next one's the Olympian one. I'm going to do that. Brilliant. Will you do it with me, Graham?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Ah, you got that on tape. You'll be here.
And many congratulations and many happy returns to Rachel, the birthday girl, completes.
Just do it. It's not like it's, you know, you're in a competition and you've got to win. You know, it's a taking part that counts, and everyone really, really pushes you along. You know, everyone's very supportive and there is a really good atmosphere out there on the course. I can say I'm a triathlete now. I want to do another one.
Triathlons are great, everyone should do one. And just have fun.
Go as a team.
Yeah, go as a team. That's a great chat.
This girl can.
Well, these girls can.
I'm following my path. I'm keeping this dream alive. Never turning back.
Well, this really is a sport for all, and some fantastic efforts from the first-timers here at Tri Liverpool. Soon it'll be time for the elite men to show us how it's done with their unique blend of speed and technique. There's an impressive lineup here, and the honours will be won after the break.
We done it!
Welcome back to Tri Liverpool, where the elite men are raring to go. Round 2 of the British Triathlon Super Series. Sophie Colwell took the win in the women's race. Audacious swim, leading from the front on the bike. But there's every chance that the men's race could go down to a very fast, flat-out 5K run. Transition is filling up, the bikes are racked, the men are raring to go.
We are good to go here in Liverpool as we wait for the start of the men's elite race, the second in the Super Series. The standings after Blenheim are like this. Chris Perham, the 6'3" youngster from Dorset, leads the way. Matt Wright, who moved from Barbados to Loughborough, is in second. And Morgan Davies, who just found himself wanting in the sprint finish there at Blenheim, is in third position, and he races again here today. Well, it's all been about the youngsters so far this season, but there's one veteran from Australia, Brendan Sexton, who is the hot favourite to win today. Well, he's a former national champion from Australia. He's won a silver medal at the World Championships. He runs very, very quickly, and if he's in the picture with 100 metres to go, it could be his day yet again. Remember, he won this title 2 years ago.
The British Super Series has always been a big part of my competition, especially when once I get to Europe. I'm always guaranteed some good competition, getting a bit long in the tooth as far as triathletes go, so the shorter stuff comes a bit harder. I think the younger guys will have a bit of an advantage with the sprint this weekend.
Morgan Davies in the mix at Blenheim Palace. Just didn't have it over the closing 500 metres.
Leading into Blenheim, I didn't really know what to expect, although I knew I'd been training well up to it in the amount of time that I had. So, I'd be looking to, grow upon that performance I did in Blenheim and hopefully take a win or something today.
That is a big ask for Morgan Davies, but he certainly showed he's got the talent. A deep water start here in Liverpool, and they're underway. Over 75 elite athletes vying for the title here. And we know we've got some very strong swimmers out there. And for once, the Australians are unlikely to have it their own way.
There'll be a lot of guys pushing in the swim. I'm not a strong swimmer, so I think a lot of the guys will know that and try and get a bit of a time on me in the swim and hopefully hold it on the bike.
This is a fairly sizable group up the front of the field. Bo Smith is certainly in there, the 21-year-old from Leeds University. Ali Rogers has had a good start. Jack Willis is in there as well, the British champion, 15 to 16-year-olds back in 2013. Interesting to see how he develops as he approaches senior level. And out of the water they come, and it is Bo Smith who has the lead, but it's a very, very slim one. And with the field so tightly packed, this is all about their skills and efficiency in the transition area. Second group coming in that should contain Brendan Sexton. No sign of him at the moment. We will pick him up as he comes out of T1. But here are your two leaders. Bo Smith with a slim lead over Ross Hosking, a teenager who started superbly well. Smith coming right down this end. And Brendan Sexton only some 10-15 seconds off the pace at the moment. Morgan Davies, little slip, but he recovers well. And now he's got to get onto the bike and out of the transition area to get in touch with the leaders. Now we know Bo Smith and Hosking should be in the lead if nothing's gone wrong in transition. There goes Sexton. Davis is away. David Bishop, well, he's some 20 seconds off the pace. He's had a disastrous swim, the man who finished second in the Super Series last year. Bo Smith in the lead. Just behind him, Dougie Roberts. Hosking has dropped back, should be in the chasing group. But these two have got a decision to make. Do they try and stay clear like we saw in the women's race, or do they wait for the group of 4 or 5 behind them? I think the latter is probably the better decision. They need some strength up there in the front if they're going to share the work rate. It's a technical course here, remember, in Liverpool. Tight turns, wet roads. It's going to take some skill as well as muscle. Remember the distances in the sprint triathlon. 20 kilometres on the bike, 5 kilometres on the run. And this group some way off the pace. A lot of work to do. Doug Roberts, Bo Smith still leading the way. Now that second group of 4 containing Rogers, Hull, Morgan Davies is there, and Brendan Sexton of Australia is just about to make contact with the leaders. Great news for the favourite. He has had minimal damage done on the swim. Just looking at his time, his swim time 8:47 compared to Smith, who was 8:40, so it was a much better swim from Brendan Sexton than we were expecting, and that is bad news for those who want to win here, because he's an ace runner and should certainly challenge for the title here in Liverpool. So a leading group of 6 up to the dead turn, and then they'll get an exact indication of where they lie relative to the second group. Great shot from Brendan Sexton's bike. Rogers just in front of him, and Sexton trying to minimise the effort. Looks as though Davies has just dropped off. This is the chase group now with Tweedy, Hosking, Finley Thompson is there, Jack Willis is in there as well. The pace up the front, very, very tough. There is Morgan Davies. He was in that leading group of 6, but he's now in no man's land between the first and second groups, and he needs to just make a decision. He's seen where they are. He won't catch those up front. unless he joins those behind. So from 6 to 5, and Brendan Sexton looking well positioned.
The smaller the groups in this technical sort of bike, the harder it'll be to catch guys once they do get away. So yeah, I'm sure that that'll be a plan for some guys, and I do like the technical bike. It does suit my skills a bit better.
The small group of 5 being caught by the chasing group. I'm not sure who's done most of the donkey work there. First we've seen of Matt Wright, the man from Barbados, who looks very strong on the bike. There he is in the blue and yellow nearest the camera, and he's having a very powerful ride at the moment. Featured in Blenheim, of course. Matt Wright finishing second on that occasion. Liam Lloyd on the left of your picture having a good ride so far, and the group is growing. Now we're approaching the end of the bike ride. I don't think anyone's going to get far enough ahead to be able to make a decisive move, so it's going to come down to the run here yet again in Liverpool, and we should have a fantastic fight out in the latter stages. Who has those legs that Morgan Davies was talking about? Matt Wright fancying his chances, gets a little bit of space between himself and the rest of the pack. Others will be trying to save the legs as they approach T2. They all know that there is a lot at stake today.
You know, it's a championship event today as well, so, you know, I think everyone's going to be trying to win that, and it's going to be a tough race. And the run's going to be just full gas, and whoever's got legs, really.
And Matt Wright there, streaming his way along the long run into the transition area. There's Brendan Sexton still in it. No doubt about it, the veteran. It's really his experience versus the youth of Britain. Wright and Liam Lloyd have been locked together for the last 15 minutes or so. There's David Bishop, who's made up after a poor swim. He was 20 seconds behind out of the water. But the way the bike ride has panned out, it has favoured him. It's also favoured Matt Wright, who was way off the pace after the swim. Parks his bike. No rush in the transition, but no mistakes either, and he's away. Liam Lloyd quick into his running. Sexton follows him out. Bo Smith, who was the first out of the water, exits T2 in 4th position at the moment. He's a big, strong man, but I'm not sure the 5k distance suits him. It's fast and furious. Matt Wright, who, as I mentioned, has moved to Loughborough to further his triathlon career, and from what we've seen so far this season, that move has paid off. Liam Lloyd being tracked by Brendan Sexton, a much smaller figure. Sexton's so experienced. Remember, he won this title 2 years ago, and with the weather cancelling last year's race, he is effectively the defending champion here in Liverpool. Will it be Australia's day? Sexton into second place. Morgan Davies moving up well. I think he's got himself into the top 5 now. Still Wright leading, and Wright looks very comfortable at the moment. Well, you can read the body language yourselves. Liam Lloyd looks to be the one who's working hardest in that leading group of 3, but still looks to have some spring in the legs. Now this looks like a move from Brendan Sexton, just nips on the inside. And Morgan Davies is definitely getting closer to that leading group of 3. It's a good solid running position he has. So halfway through the first lap, and Sexton still leading from Wright and Lloyd. No change in the first 3. Morgan Davies agonisingly close, but still in the running. Morgan Davies making his move. No hesitation about going into the lead and putting the pressure on Brendan Sexton. Hard times for Liam Lloyd and Matt Wright. Sexton responds yet again. It's now Australia versus Wales for the title here in Liverpool.
There's always a heap of young guys that are up and coming and you haven't even heard of sometimes, so I know there'll be a lot of young guys pushing at the front.
Well, that has certainly been the case today, and Sexton still holding his own. 13, 14 seasons on the tour. So much experience to draw back on. But Morgan Davis not fazed, a man who's never won a triathlon. And here he is, on the verge of getting his first success. Remember, in Blenheim Palace he was very impressive, but just let himself down in the closing 500 metres. Will it be the same story here today? Well, that looks like a burst from Morgan Davis, and no response this time from Brendan Sexton. It could be the decisive move. The Welshman finding something from somewhere, and now he's a step closer to that first ever victory. A look over his right shoulder, and he sees that Sexton is suffering. Matt Wright, who must have thought in T2 that it was going to be his day, but he's been found wanting with the speed of Sexton and Davis. But it's Morgan Davis who comes into the home straight with a decisive lead. 50 metres clear, 50 metres to go. It's his day. Well done, Morgan Davis. His first ever victory, and he's done it in Liverpool. And he denies Brendan Sexton the defence of the title here. But what an effort from the Australian.
That's my first ever win in a triathlon, actually, so felt pretty good. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't feel great until I got on the run. On the bike, I was sort of just holding in, really. I didn't feel very powerful.
When you made a move on Sexton, did you really think that was going to work? That was going to stick?
I did two moves. I did one on the second lap, and then he pulled me back. But actually, I think that worked in my favour because it meant that we were separated from third and fourth, and obviously it took a bit more out of him to catch me than I thought he might have. And then it's just a matter of holding on for dear life, and yeah, really happy.
I'm feeling terrible at the moment. I put in everything I had on the run, and I don't even know the young fella's name, but geez, he put in a big effort, and just on that last lap he surged and I couldn't go with him. The course itself is amazing, just going through down the middle of Liverpool's. It's a pretty special experience, and the docks here are an amazing location to have a race.
Well, he'll certainly remember Morgan Davis's name if he comes back next year. And incidentally, the race is on August the 14th next year, so look forward to that one. Morgan Davis, 57.28 is winning time, just a few seconds ahead of Brendan Sexton. Great effort from Matthew Wright as well, who's in second place now in the Super Series, but it's Morgan Davis who leads, 185 out of a possible 200 points, with just one race remaining in the Super Series, and that of course is in London. It all started early on, wave after wave of age groupers competing for national titles before the girls showed us that they can. More women than ever competing in Tri Liverpool. And don't forget, a hugely successful campaign to attract beginners into the sport. Let's hope that the seed has been sown. And of course, the pros. Brilliant performances by Caldwell and Davis in another memorable day of triathlon.